Welcome to a new episode of Templar's Talks. This is the 4th episode, and we have something to tell about the shows that we were watching. I think the first we can discuss was the Beast in Black show that you went to, Elvira.
Yes, I went to see them in Tilburg. They are touring with, their tour is called Glory and the Beast. They're touring with Glory Hammer, and the support is another band. Sorry.
Which you did not see?
Yeah, I didn't see them, but it was fun. I mean, power metal, well, we talked about that. Power metal is not my genre of choice, but I also had a discussion with someone else about power metal, and there are bands that are quite interesting in the power metal or still like more music, and they're like the genres that do the whole dress up
theater.
Yes, like the pirate metal, the Viking metal, they make it more like a fantasy play thing.
The dwarves.
Yes, we saw them. They played at Dynamo, I think, last year. So Beast in Black, they still have their, set, and they still have their the guitars, the poses they do with the guitars, like very power metal. It's still more, metal music, so to say, than a gimmick or something.
Yeah, they still keep the music at the first place, in a way.
Yes, and maybe that's why I quite liked it. And the production is really good. The stage looks nice. I think the crowd was wild. So yeah, it was good. Fun.
Nice. That was your first show this year, right?
Yeah, that was my first show. So it started in a big... well, maybe it was not my first show, but my first show I went to see a band, not to be in a venue and work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you've been to Sweden.
Yes, I went all the way to Sweden to see Morlocks play. Had their album released last year. We talked a lot about it already. And I knew that they had this show in Malmö, and I figured that's totally doable to get there. So I arranged that I would go there.
Yeah, because you were quite big on supporting bands you like to see, even if they're not playing in your own country. So when you're an advocate of that, you have to go there.
I did. Well, I did. I mean... no, the thing is, I wanted to drive there, so first I thought, okay, that's doable. My car does not have winter tires, but since it's like plus 12, I was like, okay, that's not going to be an issue. And then, a couple weeks before that, there was this huge snow blast in Sweden, and minus 30 something, even in the south, because I was looking up this images in the newspapers where people were stuck with their car and the army had to rescue people and such. And I was like looking up where exactly is that road, and it was like very, very close to Malmö. I was like, it's a bit of a risk to do that by car in winter if I don't even have winter tires. Now there's a solution to that. You can either buy winter tires for your car, or you can decide to seek other transportation. And then I was like, okay, maybe I'll just take a train so I can just sit down, relax, work a little bit while getting there. Yeah, but Germany has strikes at the moment with international trains, so that was not really an option either. Then I figured, I might just buy a plane ticket then. Flew into Copenhagen, and from there it's like 25 minutes by train to get to the town. Been to Malmö in 2006 or something latest. Well, on my way to another show, I was having 4 hours in the middle of the night in Malmö, and I remember walking around taking some pictures, because what else do you do? And yeah, so I had seen all the highlights, and I figured, well, it's now many, many years later, let's see it again. And I figured, they're all still there. So Malmö is still the same after so many years, it seems to me. I arrived somewhere in the afternoon, checked in the hotel, and then the band invited me to come and meet them. So why not? See, we've been doing this interview before, so it was nice to see you in real life.
Yeah, well, you did the Christmas interview with them. You raved about them on our podcast show, so I can understand they invite you.
No, but it was cool. It's nice to meet the people that you've been like riding with, talking with for an interview, and then you see in real life. Cool. Yeah, then they also had a support band called Gallow's Eve. They were doing their debut album. They're more gothic rather than the industrial metal that Morlocks is. And I remember when I was looking at their show, since they played first, I was like, okay, I hear a little bit of this, I hear a little bit of that. All the famous known gothic bands, there was a little bit something, like Sisters of Mercy, 69 Eyes, that kind of thing. Like Lacrimos, for example, I heard all of that. And then I heard the singer doing something, and I was realizing, no, I know. It's the Editors. And that's like somewhat into that direction, but not fully like gothic. But I mean, I saw the Editors in an Amphi festival at some point.
Yeah, but you know, I just read, I work in Be Below, soon their Clan of Simox is playing there. In February, and I was reading the text of the support bands, and it's kind of funny you mention Editors, because in one of the support bands they also described like it sounds like this and this and this, like gothic bands and the early Editors.
Yeah, I know. It's like,
how funny is that?
I mean, I know.
So maybe it fits
it in a way, but for me, I think I never really associate the Editors too much with that scene, because they've been so popular and mainstream. I mean, but in the end, music-wise, it makes sense, you know? But just because they were so popular before and made it to the charts, the normal charts, not like some sort of alternative charts for alternative music, I always thought them to be a bit, I don't know, it felt like a different world or something. But I heard that back in their performance, and I was like, okay, cool.
I see.
I really liked that. Also performance-wise, because I mean, if you've seen Editors perform, he's lots of movement from the singer, bits, I don't know, drunk, insane movements, I guess. And I kind of recognized that also in the singer of Gallow's Eve. So that was also something that I came to that connection with. But what I found a bit hard for them to see is that there's 3 of them in the band. They have 2 guitarists there, and I felt like I was seeing 3 people standing next to each other performing their own thing. But it didn't feel like I was looking at one band.
A band.
Yeah. And the music, it worked out. But for the performance, I was a bit like, okay, it's like they don't even look at each other, or I don't know. Hard to describe. But yeah, I think maybe, I mean, it seems like this is their debut album. I don't know if they have done many shows before, but maybe that's something they can still...
Maybe they were nervous. And
I don't know. Maybe that's just something they can grow into still. But nevertheless, I really liked their performance. I mean, the venue was quite filled. They're local, so a lot of their friends and family were around. So yeah, that instantly gives good atmosphere, I think. That's helped them very much in this show, because it's obvious that people liked it. But I wonder if you take this band right now as they were performing their that show and put them like somewhere else in the world, like Netherlands maybe, doing exactly that, I think it might not work because of that.
Yes.
You know? So for local, it's people are, I mean, friends and family are a bit more forgiving, I guess.
Yes. Indeed, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you pay a ticket, it becomes a little bit different, you know.
Yeah. I guess then also the Morlocks was a very interesting show. I really liked that they are very active performance. And it was kind of how I expected it to be. And yeah, I really liked that they are much more together than their support bands were.
Yeah.
It's good. The music is very danceable. I had a couple of people in the venue that were really active and dancing, and that was interesting enough to see. I found in the front rows this one person that I seem to see every time I go to Sweden for a show.
Kind of funny.
Yeah, it's like, I know you. I walked up to him and said, I've seen you before, didn't I? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay.
Fun.
But after the show he left, so I haven't had the opportunity to talk. Because, like, all the other shows I've been to in Sweden were at least 3 or 4 hours away from this town. So,
yeah, kind of funny.
Yeah, interesting how that works.
Well, I just remember something about Beast in Black. I didn't really say much about the show because my head was very slow processing because you asked something about the support and acts, and I was thinking like, what's the name? But you know what I do liked about Beast in Black, and it's actually more after the show, that the songs they play, they are so damn catchy.
Yeah.
They just stick in your head, like the whole week after.
True.
Like all those songs, like in my head, like waking up, like.
Do you remember the Blind and Frozen now?
The Blind and Frozen?
The song from the Beast in Black? Their hit song?
I think, yeah. I think so, yes. But that was kind of funny. And another kind of funny thing happened. I don't know if it's happening in other countries, something similar, but, you're gonna laugh when I say the phrase, but broek uit, what is it called? Broek uit op je hoofd, broek uit op je hoofd.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think we had that like 20 years ago. I was still I don't go to power metal shows often, so I was still amazed that it was exactly the thing. They are still shouting, the audience, like not one person, not 50 persons, but the whole audience, or almost the whole audience.
Wow.
And the singer was like, what the fuck are you, what does it mean? Tell me.
And where does it come from?
And that was, yeah, I don't know. I remember we used to, I also used to scream it, but that was like 20 years ago and we were like younger. And
I think I never really shouted that because I never really understood it so much.
No, me neither, but we did it at one band because we were actually annoyed with the band. And we kind of did it to point a middle finger to the band, but
that's nice.
That was different. But we were so nice. He saw, I think, like a Greek person in the audience, and he asked, like, please, because he tried to ask the audience, but it didn't work out. So I think he recognized or saw somebody that looked Greek, like, please, man, help me out here. And then he explained, and then he was like, okay, yeah, I don't think my mommy would like when I put my pants on my head and take it out, and, you know.
He instantly refers to his mommy? Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it's a good way to say, guys, I'm not gonna do this, you know, But I don't know, why do people in the audience shout, take off your pants and put it on your head? I mean, I never got it anyway, but it was kind of funny moment in the set, you know. Yeah,
interesting. Was it your experience that they liked the show or they did not like the show then?
The audience? Yeah, they liked the show, yeah.
Okay.
I think it was not too, you know, like...
middle finger.
When the audience didn't like the show and they start whistling or shouting like, oh, go away. No, that was absolutely not the case. I think the audience was quite wild. And maybe it was because of the support bands. There was a nice vibe. It was good. It was energetic. The audience was, I think you can say they were on fire. I mean... Okay. Yeah.
So they were just in some...
There was a lot of arms in the air, shouting and singing along. And
yeah, just a jolly mood.
Yeah. Yes, a jolly good mood.
Good.
So, yeah.
Well then, I sent some albums for us to discuss to you also.
Yes.
And for this episode, we chose Inver. And I chose that album because it's the gothic sound they make. And also, I got the album, of course, of Gallow's Eve. So, I mean, I haven't shown that one to you, but I figured since we're already in the goth theme, let's take that one. I believe you were not a big fan of this album from Inver. Can you share?
Yeah, well, I was sending you a message like, I hope you don't really love this band. The band is Inver. Their album is called On This Earth. It's like a little bit of gothic sound. Indeed, I can hear that. I can also hear what they kind of listen to. And I kind of think I understand what they were trying to do. But in my opinion, I would say, practice a little bit more. Try to smooth out a little bit of things. The sound from the vocal, they were like not on one level, or they went up and down, especially from the backing vocal.
Yeah, I can say that too. It wasn't very steady.
No. And also, yeah, it was not... For me, if I saw this band as a support act something, I would go back to the bar, get a beer. I mean, it's not there yet.
No.
So for me, it was a little bit too, I don't know,
maybe
too early to... I think, the overall sound of the music, I kind of get what they were trying to do. I kind of, the
atmosphere is
the
there.
pieces, the atmosphere, you understand how they build up their songs. Yeah. I hear a little bit of catatonia in there, I think. Maybe also...
Lacrimas, I thought. Very much Lacrimas.
Yeah, Lacrimas Profundere. That reminded me too, but maybe also a tiny little bit of the vocals, like Paradise Lost, the singer, like the way the sound come across. But also, I think, what was it, the last song where they whisper like on this earth, blah blah blah, on this earth. But it went on too long.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, I see what they were trying to do, but I think it was too early. How do you say that?
Premature.
Yeah. Premature, yeah.
I guess so. But what I did like about them is that they are really seem to target a younger audience and try to sort of get them into the goth sounds. That's what I feel like they were after in a way. Remember the times when we had all these young hymn fans, for example, 609 fans, where they were they were falling in love with the music for certain elements, and I felt like that this band is trying to bring that into their sound as well, and that I think is cool because we don't really have a band doing that for goth that much at the moment.
Yeah, true. And it wasn't too much or too trying to copy like the 69 Eyes, the sound. When the first time I heard Lacrimas Profundere, I was thinking, well, there's a copy, he's copying,
Yeah, but that's no secret. I think they spoke about themselves quite often in interviews. I mean, Lacrimas found their own thing right now. At least their last album is totally different from that typical sound. But also like the rest, I think they progressed. So yeah, that's for Inver. That might be for them as well. Then I quickly will say something about this Gallow's Eve album. You haven't heard it, but I can say that's if you compare to the Inver album, it's a higher level. So that's good, I guess. I found the catchiness in there really cool. Some of the songs that they played in the live show, I mean, I instantly recognized. I read the song title and I was like, oh yeah, that one. They have this song called Lullaby. I think they played it at some of the last songs that they played in their set. And it was just so, it immediately grabs you. these both albums coming, I think Gallow's Eve is probably closer to being that band for bringing in new people to the goth than Inver is. So, well, then we had some news. To stay maybe in the gothic theme, I would say I guess so, but I just realized we have to discuss that a goth minister is trying for Eurovision. I mean, last year, of course, we had Lord of the Lost doing that. In the past, Lord of the Lost was... No, goth ministers for Norway. But then I don't really know if they are the official send-off, which I thought they were the winners of their national competition. But then again, I saw, what's that called? Gate, or whatever, how you pronounce it in Norwegian, which has featuring with Agnete from Animal Alpha and Jerv. She posted something that she was doing also something for this band had to do with the Eurovision. So I was like, okay, but I thought God Minister already won, so not so sure. But I think it's cool that there are more heavier bands getting into the Eurovision. Like, I listened to that song from Goth Minister because I was curious. I saw them, I think, in October live when they were in the Netherlands. And, I mean, they always have a very good show. They have this horror theme, and they have all these monsters and the lights and a little this. Every song has something special. Sometimes it could be even a bit too much, but it suits them. It became them. So you kind of expect that when you go to Goth Minister. And then I realized, everything that Goth Minister is doing is perfect for Eurovision. They have the show, they have the theater, the catchiness in the songs. I mean, if you listen to the song that they are performing with, it's very much Goth Minister. It's not like Goth Minister making their song available for Eurovision. It's a typical song that you would normally also expect on their album. And that I think is kind of cool. I mean, most of these bands that were performing in Eurovision, if you knew their previous work, you could totally tell that they kind of did an attempt to make it more Eurovision, more radio friendly or whatever. It's different from what they usually do. Maybe for Lordi it was a bit the same, I guess. They also have done something that is very much them. And that's the same what I see with God Minister. It's yeah. They are made for Eurovision in a way.
Yeah, true. They have the whole show element there that's, it fits.
Yeah.
On a big stage.
Yeah, and the
song
is
curious.
The song is called We Come Alive. It's super catchy. If you hear it, it's I like it. Don't expect it to be like super complicated song, because Goth Minister always has a lot of the catchiness in their songs, and I like it. So good luck for them. Yeah.
How far they will come. But maybe it's also, bands trying to reach a larger audience.
True. I mean, I remember Anouk
I think that was, yes.
For the Netherlands.
But I think also Måneskin was using... And I think they did it well. I mean, it worked really well because they toured the whole planet, I think.
Yeah, totally.
So...
I mean, if you look for the Netherlands, I mean, before Anouk, it was like 20 years of unknown artists that were not exactly, having a high Eurovision winning potential that we were sending in, I think. Not necessarily meaning that they were bad, but like they're not...
No, because we had a few...
They're definitely...
A few of those, the musical... Yeah. They were singing musicals and stuff like that, so they were
not bad singers or all, but
no.
We had Sineke at some point, like.
Yeah, okay, that was terrible. I don't know how.
How?
How?
I think that was them saying, we don't want to win this year. We don't have enough money to send this girl. Nobody will vote for that. Yeah, no, that's mean, but like it's not typical something that would win the Eurovision, you know. And I think Anouk was the first like big artist that said, okay, I'm going to do this. She did it, and then she basically said, oh yeah, I did it because I wanted to go and tour in America and be famous outside of the Netherlands. I found it very cool that she actually says that was the reason why she did it. And she was successful with it in one way. I mean, I think at some point she went to the US and did something there.
Not much, I think.
No, I think she got disappointed with the scene there at some point. But
maybe she recorded an album there or something.
Yeah, I think she did. The Modern World album. Is it an album? Well, at least where that song was on. Yeah. So, and then after that we had a lot more... Yeah,
we had a common Linux. That was kind of funny.
Yeah, but I mean, there were a lot more famous artists that tried to step up and do Eurovision. And I think, like, it was really, like, it needed an Anouk to kickstart that. Because before Anouk, no serious artist would even consider doing Eurovision. And, yeah, so I think it's cool that all, in all these other countries now that there's... Eurovision is getting more open for different genres and better artists. Well, I think we had the next topic then, the All About That bass. I came up with the idea recently to discuss a little bit about female bassists. Because... I don't know, when I was at the Morlocks show, there's, of course, a female bassist. And I was thinking, we don't see that super often. Like, metal is more male-dominated, I guess. And I figured, let's see if we can find some kick-ass women who have been doing some bass in the show.
Yes, well, my list is not that long because I know bands with a female bassist, but I don't know their names. Sometimes I don't even the band name, so that's not... You sent it like yesterday to me, and I prepared something else, so I'm sorry. There's Becky Baldwin. She's from the UK. Support act before another band on bass, of course. And then they asked her to join them on the next tour, and now she is touring the world. So it's kind of fun. They like adopted her, or how do you say that? They invited her to play, and she did a great thing. And then she's getting the recognition, you know.
Yeah, that's cool.
She can pull it off. I think I'm thinking about, was it Triptychon with the female bass?
I was looking for that band forever yesterday. I was like, the band where the vocalists always have that weird bang. What is their name again? What is their name again? Yes. Okay.
Yeah, well,
so you
I think she is in the band. Yes, she is in that band for like forever.
Yeah.
But I don't know their name. And then there's one recently I found out, Hippie Death Cult. They also have a female bass player that she also sings. So that's even more challenging, I think. Yeah. But I think you found a few, because...
Yeah, I did.
You dived in.
I dived in, indeed. I think one of the coolest ones that I found is from Dutch Grounds. And I think maybe not that many people know her, but she is a known name in the metal branch because she's also doing some PR.
Oh yeah, I know.
So it's
which one you're?
Yeah, it's.
Is it Sisters of Suffocation?
Yeah, she was in there too, I think, at some point. But we saw her with Halifran lately.
Oh yeah, her. Yeah,
Jessica Otten is her name.
Yeah, the other one. Yeah.
I think she also did work with Asagram. And I think if I see her perform, she's always having this very cool, relaxed attitude, just doing her thing. Yes. I really like that, you know. Mm-hmm. She's just that badass woman doing her thing. So.
Yes. Yeah, we saw her at Into the Grave.
Yeah.
Yeah. She looks kind of, like the thing with bass players. We talked about this as well. I think there should be some sort of a grooviness or mellowness in them.
Yeah.
And she has that, indeed, yes.
True.
Like, yeah, she has a badass attitude, like...
Yeah. So then I also found this Joe Bench from Bolt Thrower. I mean, that's old, but that was literally the first one that came in mind when I was thinking of female bassists. Yeah. Then, of course, I can mention Pia from Kilt, but that is one of my favorite bands. So yeah, I can imagine not everybody knows them, but
No.
yeah, she also has that really coolness in her that we described before. Very relaxed, mellow attitudes, and yeah, I think at some point she stopped performing with Kilt, but we've seen her coming back in one of the many other projects they are doing. So yeah, still doing a great thing.
Nice.
Then, yeah, it could be almost unavoidable to mention this one band that has only females in them. So then we come to Nervosa. Fernanda, what is her name? Lira. Excuse me, I don't speak that language very well. I'm just a Dutch girl, But yeah, Fernanda, she's... I don't know, I think when I saw her before the first time was in a small club stage in Tuska, I remember. And all the three of them, was it 3 or 4 of them in the band back then? It's many years ago already. Yeah, they all had this very cool vibe that there was like this girl thing going on there. And they were like, yeah, we're all girls, but we're all very heavy. The sound that came out of there surprised me in a very, very big way. I never thought that they would be this heavy when I first was looking at them coming onto the stage. So yeah, that's one that I always will remember. And of course, she's also doing some vocals in there, so she's quite in the spotlights. But yeah, I think the whole Nervosa sort of split up, and everybody went into other bands right now.
Yeah, I think they're actually quite a...
or something. Yeah.
There are actually a few other all-female metal bands out there. Like we have the Burning Witches in the Netherlands.
Oh, yeah.
As all females. I think there's an Italian band. Of course, I can't remember the name right now. They're also all females.
Yeah.
And they're doing quite well, They're... like the doors are opened for...
Yeah, true. I mean, I interviewed this Cobra Spell recently. That's also, yeah, they're also very badass. But I haven't seen them live yet, so I wouldn't want to add that to the list. Because I would prefer to refer to somebody I know that I have seen live. Yeah, that's always different than recorded, of course. I have one more on the list. And yeah, this woman called Mia Wallace. And she played with Abbat.
Ah.
Yeah, I was thinking about that recently, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember there was this one woman that played with Abbat when I saw it the last time. So yeah, I was looking up...
Talking about badass, I mean...
Yeah. Way to go, right? Yep.
Yes.
Oh well. I was going into some research about the female bassist, and then I came to a topic where in a some sort of forum that mentioned at some point that Barathrum from Finland at some point 3 bassists in the band. I was like, God, I mean, I've seen that band a couple of times, but I don't remember if I've seen them with 3 bassists.
Maybe not live, I don't know.
I don't know, but it's like, yeah, when I see Barathrum, trying to keep my distance in a way. Yeah, I've been covered in blood by them once. in the backstage.
Nice.
In the backstage, this club called Bakery in Helsinki, and which means backstage also. So yeah, there. I think I was gonna say hi to somebody, and then the singer came by, and he kind of like put some hands of blood into onto my cheeks, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Yo, dude, thanks. Yeah. But of course that guy is a bit notorious anyway, since he got banned from Tuska for many years. I heard it had to do with some backstage trashing, but I have no idea.
I don't know.
When I remember when Tuska had their anniversary edition, they invited him back.
Okay.
So to perform.
I really don't know.
No, it's just one of those stories that you hear. So yeah, I thought but that would be one anecdote that we needed to have in here.
Okay. Yeah. So I also, I don't know if we still have time for this, but I prepared something for the bass.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were having that ready before the recordings. So let me hear it.
Not many. The idea has born, and I found the first subject, or actually one person who was willing to participate, and on short notice. So I thought, maybe we can ask a few bass players something about how they started, something they had to blisters on their finger from trying to play their first riff until they're damn proud of something they play themselves, they written themselves. And so I asked for this first edition, I asked Dominic Stotzem, if I pronounced the name right, German. He is German. He plays in a couple of bands. I saw them last year with Enemy Inside. But he plays also in Humankind, in Sonic Haven, and in the Purple cover band Purple Rising. So he plays a lot of bass in his time. So I asked him first off, how did you start it? And what was the first, riff or bass line you remember you were trying to master? So I asked him how did he start it, and what's the first thing he tried to, play him. And he said that, and it made me laugh, because he said, he started bass because he moved to another country or to another city and new school, and there was a band and they needed a bass player. So he thought, well, I need to make some friends. Let's pick up a bass. And then he said, actually, it's kind of funny because I thought he practiced. He was self-taught, and he was actually practicing the vocal lines from the bands he was listening to instead of the bass lines, because he thought that was the thing, until at some point it dawned to him oh wait, there's actually bass lines. So that was different than what he was actually trying to practice. But yeah, he got around and started to learning the bass lines, and he said he wasn't really proud of just one bass line, but the fact that he actually learned himself to listen and understand the music. I think he was most proud of that. And then so there was no one single riff or bass line he remembered. And then I asked him, okay, so that was your own beginning, but is there one track or bass line or something that you are, that boggles your mind, you think it's so fantastic, from another artist, so something you admire? And he said, let's think, he says it's not, he also said it's not exactly the riff itself. He says groove is very important to him, so he needs to, feel the music, it needs to come across in a certain way to, not
to bring this atmosphere here, in a way.
Yes, and he said, in a lot of current and modern metal, the bass is a means to an end. It needs a layer of bass in there to make the whole sound more voluminous.
Yeah.
And he likes a lot of classic rock and progressive metal. And there's, I think, a little bit more space. How do you say that? Yeah, more space for the guitars, like the whole, but also a little bit more from the bass. And he says he quite like Christopher Gildenlow from Pain of Salvation and John Mayung from Dream Theater. And then he mentions also a few others. And then I asked him, like, okay, but what is like one of the songs? He is recommending for everyone to listen to from Dream Theater, Metropolis Part 1.
Okay.
So I was thinking maybe we can create a playlist with all these tracks that hopefully this is not the last one, and we can enter all these, recommendations from bass players into a one single, how do you call
playlist.
it?
Cool.
Playlist, yes, my name. So, and I asked him also, okay, so we talked about your start, you talked about an artist he admires and a song he admires. Are you proud of something you written yourself? That's kind of... And he said, well, he didn't really contribute to a lot of the music in the last releases he's worked on, but he played in a former band, Beyond the Bridge, and he says he's actually proud of everything he wrote there. And he says, like, it's not really, it's not really a riff or a bass line he's proud of, but more that, it's still... after a lot of years, people like to listen to it, It doesn't fade out or something, or new things are coming out and it disappears. So he finds that very important. The bass has a place in the soundscape. For him, that's the most important thing. And if people find that of something he written, he's going to be a happy person, happy bass player.
Okay, cool. We should definitely make that list. I think people could be really interested in that.
Yeah, and maybe he also has tips for new bass players just to, again, not practice on and on certain riffs, but find the groove. It's more his tip to new bass players. And play with your heart. And he says, at least also with your ass. I don't know what that means. Probably that you have to feel the music, I think, with your heart and your, everything. And
Cool.
Yeah. So that was that.
That was that.
Hopefully I have another one next time.
Let's see.
We can discuss. Maybe we can discuss the song as well if I let you know before.
Yeah, true.
To see your opinion about the bass lines.
Oh, yeah. To contribute to this as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
so thank you, Dominic.
Thanks. Next we have the Ikigai, something that makes us happy. Well, I can start then with my commitment. I made a commitment. And
what?
That commitment is that I will be going to the Inferno Music Conference.
Yes, you talked about that.
I talked about it before, but it's now for sure. I made the arrangements. I will be there. So
nice.
I'm looking forward to meet many people from the industry, and we'll see a lot of amazing bands that will perform and also be part of the conference. So yeah, that makes me happy. I wanted it. I thought about it already last year when still very little was known about this edition.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm at the point that I made the commitment. So
nice.
Yay.
Yeah. It's fun to think of summer festivals. I don't know. I saw a lot of
summer.
I know, but I also saw somewhere on the internet that there was a lot of discussing, amongst music fans that everything is going to be so pricey, gigs and festivals. But I think there's a big difference between festivals. There's, of course, like Graspop Metal Meeting. The prices are going up. But if you see how many stages there are, how many big bands there are, if you have 5 stages, you need to have 5,
pay 5 bands, pay at the same time. Yeah.
And it's not just 5 bands. You have to 5. The top of the bill to end the day. You can't have a. And the thing is, if you have big names the year before, you need bigger, or even so they have all those Tool and whatever bands. But I can imagine it's going to cost more, the tickets. But luckily there are still small festivals, like 1 or 2 days, small places that have they're not that expensive. And, everything is going to cost more after COVID,
True.
The whole music industry, everything costs a lot.
Life is
renting
more expensive. Gear. That is what it is.
It is what it is.
But I think also at some point, festivals also need to realize how many stages do they really need to cater to their crowds. At some point, it becomes like impossible to make your own program, seeing the bands you want to see, because everyone starts to play at the same time. And then, the extra value from that extra stage is kind of disappearing. So people gonna stop wanting to pay for it. So, it might be hard. Festivals need to find the balance.
Yes. That's maybe why we like smaller festivals.
Yeah, I guess.
With 1 or 2 stages, you maybe 3 stages max. So there's but not bands. You have to, I don't like it when there's 2 bands, 2 headlining bands, and you have to pick which one you want to see.
Yeah, true.
Or you have to walk for like 10 minutes to go to the other side of the festival grounds to see the next band, and then you have to rush back before the set ended, and you have to run back to see the other bands. And if you want to be a little bit in the front, it's...
Yeah, but then again, also I think people sometimes get a little bit spoiled. They also have to think that they should give some opportunity for smaller bands to get discovered and become a bit of part of that as well. You might find your next headliner.
Yes, that's what I like about these smaller festivals, And I always we talk about it, like, which band did you discover? It's a place where you meet, where you see and hear new things.
What do we have next? The playlist. What was on your playlist?
On my playlist.
Recently?
Well, I listened a lot to a Swedish band. It's a Mooncoven is their name. I told you about it already.
Yes.
But I've been listening more to it. They released an album last year. It's called Sunking. They play a little bit of how do you say, stoner doomish, nice bass lines, and it sounds quite a lot like Black Sabbath as well, sort of a mix, and I quite like it. It's a little bit different from the things I've seen Abbath and Beast in Black, and I've listened to a lot of also speed metal and these things, so it's kind of nice change in genre-wise. I quite like the CD. It's so I would recommend people to give it a listen and see for themselves. So what have you been listening to?
Well, I was going through some of my older albums that I have in the car, and I realized there's Sag. Which is a heavy metal formation that I haven't listened for ages.
Sweden,
and
right?
I was like, good question. I don't know. Not sure if I remember correctly.
It's SHGH, right? Yeah, I think I've seen them. They're from Sweden, I think.
We did see them live somewhere.
They played with, let me think, with Solstafir in Baruch, but I don't know if you were there.
Okay. Probably not.
If it's the same one, because sometimes...
I think that is, but they're not even on Metal Archives. So, Oh well.
But if it's that band, they're quite nice.
It's that band.
Yeah. They're nice.
It was cool to listen to one of these older albums that back again, and I like to do that every once in a while to just see what I still have out there, and not keep listening to the same albums over and over again when I'm in the car.
Yeah.
So yeah, that one.
Nice.
All right then. Then we are already at the end of the episode, I guess.
Yes.
Then it's time to ask all you people to subscribe to the podcast, find us on YouTube, find us on Instagram, find us on Threads, find us anywhere. Facebook, you can even write us an email if you want to. Just Follow us everywhere.
Or give us some pointers in what we should listen or albums we should discuss. I was thinking we should also talk about upcoming tours, and then I remember we didn't talk about our oldies tour.
No, that's for the next episode.
Is that for the next one? Oh, sorry guys. We will talk about upcoming tours in the next one. So you have to listen what I was going to mention right now.
Yeah.
Zip my mouth.
We can have a little bit
spoiler.
Of
yeah. How do you say that?
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so listen to the next episode, I would say. And if you are subscribed to our podcast, like on Apple Music, Spotify, anywhere you are listening to this podcast from, then you will probably get it automatically in your account. So we really recommend the subscription.
Yes.
Okay, we'll leave you at it for now. See you next time.
Thank you for listening. See you.
Bye.